Today we're going to talk about a really hot topic, and that's menopause. And with me today is our naturopath, Hayden Keys. Welcome, Hayden.
Thank you, Delmay. Lovely to be here.
So, Hayden, who is affected by menopause?
Women between the ages of 45 and 55 are affected, Delmay, and that's because during that period of time, their ovaries stop functioning.
Okay, so when that stops functioning, what happens?
Okay, the ovaries, they're responsible for producing the eggs and then producing the female hormones, estrogen and progesterone. Now, during this time when the ovaries stop, the eggs dry up and then the estrogen and progesterone levels fall.
So what are the symptoms that one would know that...
Okay, the most common is the notorious hot flushing. Then there's also the night sweats, the poor memory, for some women depression, and a common problem for a lot of women is that they just lose their desire for intimacy.
What are the causes of the hot flushing?
So the cause of the hot flushing is the drop off in the female hormones. Now, conventionally, the way that we deal with that is that we just replace those hormones, and that's the standard medical approach.
Okay.
But what it doesn't do is get to the underlying cause, which is that the women's adrenals, which are their stress glands, aren't working as well as they should anymore, and they're not picking up the slack from the ovaries, and therefore the hormone levels just drop off.
So what can they do to treat that underlying?
Okay, now there's quite well-known herbs like wild yam and black cohosh, which have plant estrogens in them, which women can take, and that will help bring up those estrogen levels and help with the symptoms. But in order to fix the underlying problem, we need to look at other herbs and just a woman's ability to cope with stress.
Okay, so what's stress got to do with it?
Okay, so most women have raised a family, they've had jobs, and now when they've hit menopause, their poor old adrenal glands are burnt out. And so what we need to do is look at things that help restore good function there, return that adaptability or that tolerance to stress that a woman had when she was younger.
Okay, and how do you do that?
Okay, there's certain natural substances like vitamin C and magnesium which are good at restoring good adrenal function, but then also quite well-known herbs like the ginsengs, and then also another herb called tribulus.
Tribulus.
Yeah, so tribulus is a herb from Eastern Europe, and what it does is it lifts a certain hormone called DHEA, which is the hormone that gets turned into testosterone and to estrogen. So when you actually lift this DHEA level, what you do is you then address both the testosterone, the estrogen, the progesterone, and you basically reduce and eliminate all the symptoms from menopause.
Okay, so you mentioned before about stress and family, and obviously that impacts the libido as well.
Of course. So a lot of women are tired, they're worn out, they're still looking after adult children, and now they're having to look after their parents as well. So they're still quite highly stressed. And that's why it's really important that we look at improving their ability to handle stress, because as we do that and we start to then be able to lift these hormone levels back up, then we're able to reignite that fire and that passion and bring some love back into the relationship.
That's really fantastic, and I'm sure a lot of women would really want to know more about that. And you can do so by going to healthyremedies.com.au.